So, time for race 3. Heat 1 for DD2 and DD2 Masters. Here is your starting grid. Pole position taken before the lunch break by the Netherlands' very own number 405, Imke Arts. She'll be lined up alongside the man who currently leads not only the RMC Germany standings in DD2, but he's second in the BNL Karting Series. Nikita Genzer from Germany. They'll have behind them two rapid pedalers in their own right, both from SP Motorsport. Dylan LaHaye, a multi-time BNL Karting Series senior road tax champion. This is his first foray into DD2 on a full campaign. And he'll be joined by Nicolas Guillaume. Fredrik Sebis Christensen, the current championship leader in the BNL Karting Series, starts down in 5th. He currently leads on 308 points, 3 ahead of Genzer. He'll be joined by Mats Johan Overhoff on row number 3. Mark Schubmann and Jordi Klibor round out row 4 with Maximilian Adolf and pole sitter in DD2 Masters. Very rare I get to say this. Michael Becker in the 504. Louis Koch and Luca Neuenhausen round out the penultimate row of the grid. And then you have Karl Klibor and Christophe Capitain rounding out the field themselves. Karl Klibor, well, he's currently leading the Masters, 6th overall in the points on 232, 9 ahead of Capitain. More to the point, well, Karl Klibor has been a multi-time BNL and BMC champion and has represented the Red Devils, Team Belgium, on a notable amount of occasions, including most recently Bahrain International Karting Circuit late last year for the 2023 Grand Finals. Plus also, he was there in Sarno the last time the Grand Finals went to visit in 2019. So the revs rise. LaHaye and Guillaume start from the pit lane as the lights are out and they get released. So Arts leading the field into turn number 2 for the opening tour. As off the circuit, I think that was a bit of a moment there for Christophe Capitain. He was side by side, wheel to wheel with Karl Klibor, and they made the slightest amount of wheel contact. And, well, Capitain went hopping and skipping and jumping into the grass and the dust off of the exit of turn number 2. So the field makes its way through into Mutkurva. Imke Arts holding the lead for the moment. Heading Nikita Genzer. Well, Fredrik Sebis Christensen and Mats Johan Overhoff and Jordi Klibor, they've all made up places. As Mark Schubmann drops all the way down into 9th, Louis Koch up into 7th from 11th. And now the field makes its way through into turn number 5. So Imke Arts being kept very honest by the number 407 from Germany, running with DR Motorsport. Genzer's had a very, very good run of luck. Funny enough, well, we had Rotax Belgium and Rotax Germany here 2 weeks ago. Genzer really starting to want to pull the pin on that grenade. Well, he's trying to get the cross back on Imke Arts, and well, he manages to get through around the outside in the approach onto turn number 2. That was turn number 3. That was a great little move there by Nikita Genzer. So he takes the lead on lap number 3 here at turn 3. So Imke Arts demoted to 2nd, just ahead of Fredrik Sebis Christensen, the young Danish hotshot who really has done a Thomas van Dockas and Maxime Shurko, Tom Bracken and also Enzo Wolf, who have skipped juniors and gone straight into DD2. Mats Johan Overhoff and Maximilian Adolf, the latter who's made up 4 places. They round out the top 5 as it's getting a bit dicey going into turn 3 once again. Imke Arts is holding on to that 2nd place, keeping Fredrik Sebis Christensen at bay. So the 405 trying to keep that that chassis is back end, back axle, and back bumper as wide as humanly possible going through corners. And the good thing is, it is a battle for position, so Arts has the right to defend within the spec of the regulations when it comes to, you're allowed to stay on the racing line. And Arts is getting closed in on by Zebes Christensen once again. Oh, Dylan LaHaye and Nicolas Guillaume rounding out 12th and 13th at the moment. Christophe Kerpen all the way down at the bottom end of the order and is probably the best part of 7.5 seconds behind our overall race leader, new leader as of lap number 3, Nikita Genza. Frederick Zebes Christensen trying to keep Imke Arts within his crosshairs. And see if he can put a number on, put a move on the 4:05. Moving to Shippers Racing this year. It was a privateer, ran on a Birrell, if I remember correctly, for a number of years, and had a chat with her earlier on this season at the, I think it was the Lansard at Chrono Karting, and she said it's been a real revelation. I've found so much more confidence, and sometimes a change can be as good as a rest, really, and she is not letting Genza out of her sights whatsoever. A bit of side-by-side action a bit further back. That was Nicolas Guillaume. Possibly, I'm not too sure who it was on, but he managed to make the move stick. So Guillaume up to, I would imagine that's 11th place. It might not have been Dylan LaHaye, it might have been Luca Neuenhausen. But he might have just passed. Coming up towards half-time in this race. If you're watching from home, thank you so much for joining us here on our official YouTube channel. Please make sure you like, share and subscribe. And then also, let us know who you're supporting this weekend. It's a very, very important thing you've got to remember. Who are you rooting for? And in case of this race, are you thinking it's going to be Nikita Genza? Do you think it could be the person behind, the lady behind Imke Arts? Anything in motorsport is very much possible. So we continue onward on this journey. Kerpen. So the last time round, after 7 laps, Imke Arts was within 4.5 tenths of a second of Nikita Genza. There is a little bit of a catfight going on between Mats Johan Overhoff, Maximilian Adolf and Jordi Kleber. That's the battle for 4th, 5th and 6th place. So Dylan LaHaye and Nicolas Guillaume starting to work a little bit together. Well, actually, LaHaye has dropped Guillaume like a bad habit and gone, well, you're going to be a little bit further behind me than you might have liked. That is nearly the best part of half a second for the 491. But with the pace that she's carrying at the moment, Imke Arts, last time around was half a tenth quicker. She's up by a tenth in sector 2. Arts is closing in on Genza slowly but surely and goes quicker in sector number 3 in comparison with the young man in front. So just over the 3-minute mark remains. So at the moment, Nikita Genza leads DD2, leading DD2 Masters down in 8th. Is Michael Becker. We've got around about 2.5 minutes to go, plus an additional lap. And with these longer races, with bigger amount of people. It might get a bit crowded in some respects. So Dylan LaHaye now makes a move on Mark Schubmann for 9th place. So the 428 from SP Motorsport, slowly but surely making his moves up the order. That just goes to show that you might be at the front end of the field, but if there's someone trying to chase you down, trying to hunt you down and go, right, you're now going to get an overtake thrown your way, and they'll have to decide what's going to happen. Can't always read the body language on everybody when you're in the wheel of a kart, but it's also, you can see how the driving style can be deconstructed in a few levels, such as steering wheel input, throttle input and brake input. However, just over 70 seconds remain on the timer. Genza, Arts, Zebers Christensen, Overhoff and Jordi Clerbault. Well, Mats Johan Overhoff is starting to close on in to Fredrik Zebers Christensen. The gap between them last time round was 0.285 of a second. Dylan LaHaye now past Michael Becker, who still leads the DD2 Masters class. He's got a further 3 karts behind him. Nicolas Guillaume, Mark Schubmann and Luca Neuenhausen. They round out the top 12. We're covered by just under 10 seconds of racing. We'll go down to the penultimate lap very, very shortly. Getting to out of the final corner. So is Imke Arts, so is Zebers Christensen, so is Overhoff. So two-way battles at the front end of the field. Then you add the Hornet's Nest that comes in behind it. But the timer has now officially hit 0. There's Zebers Christensen and Overhoff. Down to the wire here at Kerpen. That also depends on how you put your best foot forward. And two people who I know that have already done so. They're going to see the last lap board. So Nikita Genza goes on to the 15th and final lap. Ahead of him, Arts, Fredrik Zebers Christensen, Mats Johan Overhoff, Jordi Clerbault, Louis Koch and Maximilian Adolf running at the top 7 ahead of Dylan LaHaye, Nicolas Guillaume and DD2 Masters poleman and now also race leader Michael Becker in the number 504, Mark Schubmann, Luca Neuenhausen, we've got Karl Clerbault and Christophe Capitain, who unfortunately had that slight bit of contact that speared him off, and very lucky to keep it out of the barriers, but he is still running. Leaders now coming through the Schumacher S for the final time. So, how's about this for a good start to the weekend? Nikita Genza, a win in heat number 1 ahead of Imke Arts. Fredrik Zebers Christensen and Mats Johan Overhoff round at the top 5 ahead of Jordi Clerbault, Louis Koch, then we've got Maximilian Adolf, Nicolas Guillaume, who finishes ahead of Dylan LaHaye. Mark Schubmann was then across the line in 11th. Luca Neuenhausen, Karl Clerbault and Christophe Capitain all made it to the checkered, covered by 13.3 seconds. Next up, very shortly, we'll be heading into our last heat number 1. This time, very shortly, it will be for seniors.